5 people that you would choose to quarantine with for God knows how long, there is no end date. It's not like Big Brother, you know it's going to stop shooting. Who would you pick and why?
There'd have to be boxing fans. There'd have to be boxing fans.
No, it has to be boxers.
Other boxers. Oh, what boxers? You'd have to have Tyson Fury in there for the pure banter. Billy Joe Saunders as well for the controversy. I like a bit of controversy. So them two. Who else would I have in there? Carl Froch.
Okay. You guys can play poker together?
Yeah, he's a good poker player, so we can play some poker. He's a good poker player. Another boxer, who would it be? Quarantine. Does it have to be a current active boxer or?
No.
Oh, okay. Who's boxed a little bit? That's a really good question. Someone funny. Who's a funny boxer?
Oh, you're looking for jokes all the way around, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm looking for pure jokes. All I want is comedy. All I want is who's good, who's funny, who's a funny player. Carl Froch is hilarious. Come on, I'm gonna go through the weights, heavyweights. He's a funny heavyweight. I'll tell you what, I'd chuck in just for my entertainment. I'll put Anthony Joshua in there as well, just because him and Fury with a banter would be the best ever. So you got Tyson Fury, AJ, Billy Joe Saunders, Carl Froch. Who's the fifth boxer I'll put in there? Who's in? It's got to be in it. It's got to be Nassim Hamid, Prince Nassim Hamid.
Okay.
It's so good. Prince Nassim Hamid. You got to put Prince in there to mix it up for sure. So yeah. That's an entertaining crew right there. Come on.
That is. I know. I find that everyone's reasoning for throwing people in is quite hilarious, actually. I mean, people are like, "Oh, I need this and I need that," and I'm like, "Yeah, but a little bit too much of that, you're gonna get annoyed." There is no.
I'd put Naz in there. I'd put Naz in there because he'd have the biggest ego out of everybody, and he'd be the smallest guy. And he's like, "Okay, how's that going? I'd love to see the giants with him." And but he, pound for pound, he's probably got the best punch power out of all of us, probably. Nassim, Prince Nassim Hamid. So. Yeah,
that would be a hell of a house. That would have to be like
a dynamic household, I tell you that. Who'd be washing the dishes? That's all I want to know.
I don't think any of you guys.
That's a lot of egos in one building.
Oh, Lord.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, you guys would want to kill each other in the very end. You know, speaking of Carl Froch, he mentioned that he would think of or consider coming out of retirement to fight Joe Calzaghe. Is there a fight you'd consider coming out of retirement for? If you were guaranteed this particular fight, would you chance it? Would you do it?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. No.
No.
The only one I would generally do is the winner of AJ and Tyson Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever, because that would just be the number one, and that's probably the only one. That's the only one. I'm not really. It's a lot to go through. I got my body in a nice place now. I'm super healthy. All my injuries are healed up. There's been no hardcore training. It's just been I've been at home doing my body weight stuff. Yeah, normally when you're training for a fight, you've got to really put your body through it. If you want to knock out the big guys or have a chance of winning against the giants, you've got to really sacrifice and put your body through it. And I wouldn't, I've enjoyed this time where the intensity has been taken from like a 10 to like a 3. Everyone thinks I train super, super hard. Not really. I don't. I probably train between probably half an hour to 45 minutes every day, but I do a nice routine. I've got my little setup. I change it every day. But Cassius does it with me as well. I'm not training for athletic performance right now. I'm training for vanity. I'm training for aesthetics. I want to look like I'm prime. I don't care whether I can knock out whoever it is, but I know I'm like, whenever I'm sitting ringside watching these guys, I always go, if I was me, the real me, I'd slip that jab. I can't do this. I'd do that. But that's the slippery slope when your brain starts going like that. But fortunately, I remember watching Anthony Joshua when he fought Andy Ruiz Jr. And I remember thinking, damn, that would be very, very difficult to beat. Very, very difficult to beat. I remember thinking, I was like, you know, even on my best day, that's like that version of him where he's light on his feet and he's ready and he's kind of fearful as well. I was like, I remember thinking that's hard to beat. And then I thought exactly the same thing when I saw Tyson Fury beat Wilder. I'm watching that and I'm like, that guy is a hard guy to beat. So it's like they're the two times I've seen. They're the two performances in the last since I've retired that I've actually watched and gone, oof, that's going to be hard. That'd have been a hard work, no matter what version of me it was. That's like them guys. That's them. They're big and they're strong and they're in their prime and they're like. I'm like those guys. That version of AJ, that version of Tyson Fury for any heavyweight in history would have been a hard night. And it's nice to see the sport evolving. The big guys are athletic. They're in shape. They watch the nutrition. They're coming back. They're throwing plenty of punches. They're all in good physical health. It's nice to see boxing evolving. It really is nice to see the new generation really, really setting the bar. And that's why we've got to get them both. That's why we've got AJ. We've got to get AJ and Fury in there to mix it up at some. In 2021, we need to see. That's the one we have to see it.
Yeah.
For the sport, for the future of the sport, we have to get him in there.
Wilder has been under some criticism, as you know, for the comments he's made. It doesn't matter, and I know you can relate to this, it doesn't matter how valid you believe the reasoning to be as to why you felt you lost. Anytime you give a reason publicly, it kind of gets held against you, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, till this day, people will still bring up the fact that you mentioned that you injured your toe. You know that affected your performance. You know that. But nonetheless, people don't really like to hear it, do they? They like to just say...
Nobody wants to hear a reason other than the other guy was better than you that night. And that's it. Shut up and come back in the ring and show me what you got next time. That's how boxing works. And, you know, Deontay Wilder, if he used to make it in the third fight with Tyson Fury, and let's say he knocks out Tyson Fury in 6 rounds, that's it. He'll move on. He'll carry on. Then that's how it works. You know, so it's down to the performance after. It's down to your performance after. And if there's ever a fighter out there, I'd definitely say, whatever the reason, just give it to yourself. You know what the reason is. They might or might not know. That's it. Keep it to yourself. You learn in our lives. We have experiences and we learn from them, and we take from one experience, good and bad, things into the next phase of your career. So that's it. It's about evolving. You know, I guarantee whatever happens in Deontay's next fight, win, lose or draw, he's whatever happened, he's keeping to himself and he's just focusing on winning that fight.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, hopefully, by 2021, no later than 2022, we should have one reigning heavyweight world champion.
Billy gets stripped of 2 of his belts for not defending against the mandatory.
Damn politics!
Yeah, goddamn politics. Yeah, but as long as we have one person wins that fight, they can strip all the belts off him. We have one champion, numero uno, and that's it. We have the real number one.
Who reigns for you? Who in the end reigns for you?
Currently it's either AJ or Tyson Fury as of today. But you know, after the
you have to break it down, David. You have to break it down according to their last fights. Who, if you had to put them two together, who wins in the end?
I don't know. I know you're clucking for this headline for one who. I don't know. I generally, I've said it. Everyone's asked me. That's the question I get asked every single day, and I can and it's not a bullshit answer. I can see it going both ways. I can see AJ's crispness and his athleticism and his dedication for his life and the fact that he hasn't gone off the ball and hasn't blown up to 30 stone and hasn't had substance abuse issues and mental issues and this issue and that, the fact that he hasn't had that, I see that potentially being a reason in a 50-50 fight that he comes out on top. And vice versa, I see the fact that Tyson Fury has been boxing significantly longer than Anthony Joshua. The fact that he's fought up until now the better opposition in terms of Deontay Wilder. He's better than anyone that AJ's fought. The fact that he's been there, the fact that he's never been knocked out before, he's never lost a fight. I think in a 50-50 fight, that might go. And so it just depends on the day whose game plan, who rises to the occasion, who is more fearful, who is more, brave, who's willing to get up when it all seems finished. Tyson Fury has shown he can do that before. AJ hasn't yet. Just because he hasn't shown us it yet doesn't mean it's not there. He just had a horrendous night in New York. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights in the history of boxing, he had a couple of crap nights. Well, he's still one of the greatest. It is what it is. And everybody is entitled to a bad night at the office. And Tyson Fury, to this day, has never had a bad night at the office. The worst night at the office so far is a draw against Deontay Wilder, which he reversed in terms of the result next time round and won it by about as clear a margin as a boxer can win a fight.
Lastly, I am curious.
That's a very long way to not answer your question. That's the longest answer not to answer. Oh, gosh, to be a politician, shouldn't I? I'm actually proud of myself for that answer.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play. So make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.